Hello gamers and welcome back to Beyond the Emulator. I'm your host Dylan and this is another episode of Retro Recap. In today's review I'm going to be breaking down some Trimui firmware news I've been testing over the past few weeks. We're going to be showcasing 5 different firmwares across 5 separate Trimui devices. This episode is action-packed, so buckle up. I'll be testing the NDS Emulator, DraStic across the firmwares to see which one truly takes the crown. I'll also be diving into all 4 versions of Ridge Racer across NDS, N64, PlayStation, and PSP to see how they stack up. So sit back, grab your favorite handheld, and follow along to see how you can tweak your setup for peak performance. We're going to be going beyond the emulator. And if you enjoy these handheld deep dives, please drop a like and consider subscribing to the channel. Thank you for your support. Now, without further suspense, let's get started. So, as you can see here, I've got MuOS version Jacandra. That's over here, and we're going to dig into that a little bit. I've got Newly Gladiator over here. I've got the Brick Hammer with NextUI firmware. Over here we've got Spruce OS version 4.1. And lastly, we've got CrossMix down here below. So kind of got 5 devices, 5 different firmwares. And what we're going to do is we're going to jump into some DraStic. So stay tuned. So here we are. We've got all these devices and we're going to play around with a little NDS and with Ridge Racer as well on NDS. So let's go with CrossMix first. We've got this over here, and what we've got is we've got the Nintendo DS, and I'm going to go ahead and show you the options. So we've got Ridge Racer. Interesting that we're going to be in that theme today. So to get the selection of emulators or cores, we're going to go ahead and press X, and you're going to go ahead and see the DraStic emulator core that's here, either with an overlay or no overlay, and then you either have your bilinear or nearest, either version. We're basically just going to try the no overlay, and we'll go with the nearest. Seems it gives it a little bit more crisper picture. Let's see how this functions. Some of these I've tried and some of them I've not. So we'll go ahead and press A to select. Let's let it boot up. As you can see, it's kind of in the middle of the screen. There we go. If I push L2, I'm able to get it side by side. I've got a frames per second up above. Let's see how we can get a menu. I'm going to go ahead and press start. There we go. We've got the DraStic menu. This particular version for CrossMix doesn't offer a lot at the moment. Let's get these out of the glare here. So basically you've just got your change options. We've got video options for frame skip. The screen is very small to see. We've got screen swap, which we want to have as yes. We want to fix the 2D screen as well as disable the edge marking. Those are always a preference that I use on my versions. On the other firmwares, if it's a 3D, very small, high-res 3D and thread 3D, we don't want to turn those on at this point. Those could be used for some other games. We're going to go back. Very tiny screen if we wanted to configure the controls, firmware, and if there's any cheats. And actually in the CrossMix version, it looks like we've got cheats. All tracks open and complete. So if we were to change this to enable, we'll see what happens there. All cars are open. We're going to go ahead and enable that and see if that cheat is effective. We're going to go ahead B for back. So we've done some cheats. Looks like we've already started a game before, so I have played this actually on CrossMix. But so we'll go ahead and just hit that example. We're going to go ahead and get my load state. And actually here we are. Should be able to push A for my throttle. And as you can see on this particular version, I've got it side by side. Kind of annoying. Doesn't give me really a good way of playing it on CrossMix at this moment. And if I had an overlay, basically, you're going to see the overlay just have the Nintendo DS on the side of it. So This seems to be a little bit of a challenge. See if we were even going to go top to bottom. Doesn't give us a lot of options, so just wanted to kind of share the cross-mix version. We'll go ahead and get out of that for the moment. Not impressed. So let's bring it over here. We're going to go ahead and go with Newly. Newly's another firmware as well, so we've got it clicked on Nintendo 64, but we'll go ahead and scroll over. Nintendo DS. We've got Ridge Racer. So if I were to go ahead and press A, hold that down, it's going to open up a submenu. We're going to go ahead and look at advanced game options, see what emulator cores are available here. It's been set at auto, but we've got advanced DraStic, and then the libretto from RetroArch, which is the Melon SDS. We're really going to focus on the DraStic, so my preferred would be advanced DraStic. We're going to go ahead and select that. As far as the power mode, I'm basically going to go with balanced. I feel that that's kind of fair. I don't think it needs to require any high performance for this particular game, not in the NDS form. We're going to go ahead and back out of that. We're going to go ahead and press A and execute it. It's looking for my BIOS. I don't think that's going to be an issue. We're going to launch it anyway. Let's see how this screen formats here. We've got our mouse. As you can see, we do have a couple options side by side, or it just flips back. Now if I press menu and B button, it gives me to my sub menu. Change our options. Not really necessary to do any frame skip. We are going to do a screen swap, so we're going to go ahead and change that to yes. Let's go ahead and show the speed. Enable sound is already there. We're going to go ahead and fix the main 2D screen with a yes. Disable the edge marking. Just gives it a little bit more of softer edge. If you're playing more of an RPG like Legend of Zelda, you'll see the characters have a little bit more of sharper corners. So we're going to disable that. And we're going to keep the high res off. And in this version, you can actually save it for this game. So we'll go ahead and select that. Change our steward options. This allows us to change our screen mode. So as you can see, we've got the big side on the left, small on the right. We can actually do one screen. That's kind of preferred for Ridge Racer. It works really well. So we'll go ahead and select that display. And when I flip it, I should be able to get both sides. Controls, if we needed to make any changes to controls. Let's see if it has any cheats. Again, it shows all tracks are open and complete, so there is options for cheats as well. So the Newly Gladiator version for the NDS, Advanced DraStic provides cheats as well. So we're 2 for 2 on cheats. We're going to go ahead. We don't have any open states or anything we played. Actually, this is the first time I put it on Newly right before I started this video. So we're going to go ahead and return to our game. This particular version is going to be also seen quite a bit on, I believe, the MUOS, NextUI, and SprUOS. So we're going to return to the game. Go ahead and get start. So being that this is our first startup, let's go ahead and make a configuration on the cheats. All tracks open and complete. All cars open. Let's see what that does when we get to the game. Now if I press my left trigger, as you can see, I'm getting full screen. So all I have to do is just flip it here, use my mouse. We're going to go ahead and delete this name of driver. We're going to go ahead and put in pops. We're going to go done. We're going to go single player. We're going to go with Grand Prix. We'll see if this cheats come open. As you can see, all this is open now. So all these courses are available. Let's see, we'll pick select 3. So if we flip the car, there we go. Here's our choices of cars. As you can see, we've got quite a few. Not a great image. So let's just make a change here. Go back to our change options. Maybe scroll down here and say, let's disable edging and turn it off. Here's our course. We're able to just kind of select any car. We're going to select this one here. Going to bring our mouse down. And we need to, there we go. Select. I'm going to flip my screen. As you can see, the steering wheel's on this side. That's not going to help me.
3, 2, 1, go!
And there we go. As you can see, my analog stick is not working, so I would have to set up the controls for that, but using the D-pad, to be honest with you, works really well. And to be honest with you, this is moving really fast. More than I've seen on the PSP version, which we'll be getting to later. So, crazy. This is working really well, and we didn't really make any modifications to the game. But I am hitting walls like crazy. So we're going to go ahead and end that little disaster. We'll go ahead and get out of Newly Gladiator. And we'll bring ourselves over to MuOS, the Jacondra version. So for games, we're going to go select down to Nintendo DS. They've actually got an option of cores as well. So we're going to go down to Ridge Racer. We're going to go ahead and press X to see our emulator cores. Here's our core that's actually been already used, DraStic Advance. But just to go ahead and show you what versions there are available, we'll go ahead and assign down here Nintendo DS. With the new version, it doesn't go one by one. Actually, if you hold down the D-pad, it will scroll down a lot quicker. So as you can see, the versions that are here are assigned. We got the Trimui 2015, which is a RetroArch core. The DraStic Advanced, which is actually assigned to the directory. You got the DraStic Legacy, and then you got the two RetroArches, Melon DS and Melon SDS. But what we're really going to be focusing on, what's really current, the DraStic Advanced. That seems to be working the best across the board for most of these firmwares that we have available today. So we're going to go ahead and keep it selected there, DraStic Advanced. Going to go ahead and put the governor at performance. We could put it at power save. We could put it on demand. I'm just kind of left everything on performance at this moment. We'll go ahead and scroll back. We're going to go ahead and select A to execute the game. Let's get it going.
3, 2,
Volume sounds great. And look at that, we jumped right into a game.
all right. This is going to be a great race.
Sounds great.
2 laps to go.
And this is running on the NDS. So as you can see, I should be able to flip my screen, which I can't see now. There I'm crashing. But this is also the NDS version. That is really working really well. Both of these games, actually, the speed on them. But the quality of image is really dated, I could say. But it is actually kind of a quick, fun game to be able to play. So there's my version with MuOS. We'll go ahead and put ourselves into it. But again, it's using Advanced DraStic. And here's our option menu. We've got change options. We don't need to necessarily do any frame skipping. We've got screen swap as yes. Show speed. Let's see. We've got fix main 2D screen and disable edge marking yes. Both of those have already been saved. Steward options, that's actually your screens. So you can see I've already got the one screen here, but if you wanted to go down and change it side by side, you could see this vision here. And because we weren't paying attention, we're backwards. It's all confused. So you'll be able to see that in the steward options. We've got controls. We've got cheats. Actually, they've also got cheats, so we're 3 for 3 on the cheats. Same options for cheats. You've got your load, your save states, and it's using the DraStic Advanced version TRNGAJAE, which is the NDS version R2.5.2. So this was put out late last year and has actually done really well across these items. So let's get out of this. And let's go ahead and move ourselves over to a couple of the bricks and hammers. I just actually picked up a hammer. So I've actually next UI on it. So to be honest right now, Muos actually is really nicely done with the NDS. But now we're going to be moving to a smaller screen. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead with the next UI. I've got Ridge Racer here, but that's for another version. We're going to scroll down to Nintendo DS. Ridge Racer. And what's nice is that your R2 button is your toggle screen. So you can see the small and the big. But we're going to go ahead and press our menu button. We're going to select our screen configuration. Again, this is Advanced DraStic. Screen swap, yes. We want to fix the main screen, yes. Disable the edge marking, yes. Down on this particular version, it has the display layouts. So it's kind of hidden in your screen configuration and your resolution. So we're going to go ahead with this edit layout. We're going to go with the one screen. We're going to go ahead and save it for this game. We'll go ahead and swing down to cheats. And there you go. You've got the cheats located in there as well. So we're 4 for 4. All 4 devices with their DraStic have actually located cheats available for you for this particular game. So that just lets you know is that most of the other games that you include will also have the ability to have cheats as well. So we're going to return to the game. As you can see, it's one screen. If I do R2, I'm flipping it back and forth. We're going to go ahead and see, did I have any save states? No. So this is the first time on the game. We'll go ahead and get the volume up. We're just going to go ahead and get going on this particular game. Let's do a quick race. We're going to flip our screen, R2.
3, 2, 1, go!
And there we go. Now I'm using the D-pad strictly. I didn't have to do any mapping.
2 laps to go.
Volume sounds really good. Audio. Working really well. I want to just say is that the Advanced DraStic NDS, for basically all the firmwares, as long as you're using that particular version and have a few settings made in there, you're really getting a good quality game out of this. And most of the other NDS games, but this just shows a few settings. But, I mean, this is working really, really well. It's just the quality of the game due to the age is unfortunate. So we're going to get closer to that shortly. So there's an example. I'll go ahead and press my menu. So we'll go ahead and get out of that with next UI. Boom. And lastly, we've got Sprue OS. So we're going to go ahead and locate our Nintendo DS folder there. We've got Ridge Racer. So on this particular version, we've got to go ahead and go to X. We're going to look at our choices of emulators. And see, they've actually have 3 versions. There's original, Stewart, or the N, or the TRNGAJE. So we're really going to stick with that because that's what we've been running off of. We're going to go ahead and select that. We're going to go ahead and press A. And you can see there's an overlay. But right now, this particular version, due to the screen, there we go, is it's not allowing me to swap. So we need to go to screen configuration. It says screen swap is on yes. Let's go to display layout. There's our full screen. So now we have a full screen. D-pad is working. Audio sounds good. Doesn't seem to be moving as fast as the other versions. Same with the other one. It's still reading on the frames per second, not a problem. Just doesn't seem to have that really quick jump like the other versions that we were seeing on Newly and CrossMix. Volume seems to be a little bit lower. But there we go. And we're going to finish right here. And I don't think we did so well on this particular one.
Not bad, but you can do better.
Yeah, there you go. I got to keep trying. So, again, they're basically advanced DraStic that's on Sprue OS is exactly identical to show you. Basically between the two, they're exactly the same version. So just to let you know, they both offer the same thing. Oh, and we didn't even check for Spruce. There we go. The cheats are there. So basically all 5 of the versions are firmwares and all that I put out here, all with using the advanced DraStic has got the cheats included. So just kind of gives you a little bit of NDS. I know it was with Ridge Racer, but it also shows you some emulator settings that might be able to help you out as well. So enjoy and thanks. Okay, folks, let's get to some more Ridge Racer. Now we're going to focus on Ridge Racer, but we're going to actually use a couple emulator cores. So what we're actually going to focus on is really because the Next UI strictly uses the rearmed core for the PlayStation or PSX. So we're going to kind of follow that example. So what I've done is I've actually shown down here. So the Next UI only has one core that's being used for their PSX. It's the RE-armed MED or PCSX rearmed core. Sorry for the pronunciation. That's being used. So over here on Spruce OS, they actually have a selection. You've got the rearmed or you've got Swan Station. Okay. Over here on Mu OS, we've got 4 selections. You got the Beetle, PSX, Duck Station, and then you got the rearmed version, which is actually their selected core that they prefer. And then you got Swan Station as well. So, I mean, if you want to go and try those other cores, I have played with a little bit of them, mostly on the CrossMix. They seem to be okay, but again, when you go back to the rearmed version, it seems like it's the best one for this low device. And then again, we've got Newly Gladiator over here. We're going to go ahead and select on their versions here. And you've got the Medenfen PSX, which is actually the Beetle. It's just a different name that's being used. And then you got the Swan Station, and then again, rearmed. So we're going to use rearmed on all of them. So what we're going to do is, basically, I'm going to select a couple Ridge Racer or Rage Racer games, and we'll go ahead and fire a couple of them up on running with PlayStation on all these devices. So let's just grab this, go ahead and grab Mu OS. We'll go ahead and make sure that our core is that one. So we've got that selected. The governor, we're going to basically go with performance, kind of raise it up a little bit. We're going to go back. So my selection I've got here is I've got R4 Ridge Racer, which was the last version that they did for PlayStation. You've got Ridge Racer, and then Ridge Racer Revolution. So we're going to go ahead and take a trip down with Ridge Racer Revolution. So I'm going to go ahead and press A. It's possible it could have popped out to us from a save state. I can't recall. Make sure we've got volume up. It's got retro achievements. Let's go to our menu. So again, it's using RetroArch version 1.22.2. As you can see down below, the core that's being used, PCSX rearmed. Let's go to our save states. And we do have a save state already selected. So we're going to go ahead and just load that. 2, 1, go. And there we go. Now, my analog stick here is not working, but my D-pad is. Image quality, it's a little bit better than the NDS, I would say. Still a little bit grainy, but it is working. I would say Ridge Racer is really, out of a lot of the games that I've played, even playing like Midnight Club or Split Second, even on the PSP, it just seems like when we get to the PSP version, it just has a really good quality of even using the D-pad for driving, and I prefer that. But here we are spinning around. But seems to be working really well here on MuOS. We'll go ahead and put it at a pause. We'll go ahead and do a save state. We'll change it to a new one. Maybe I'll come back to that game a little bit later. So we'll go ahead and put MuOS a little bit out of the way. And then what we'll do is let's go ahead and grab the brick. We'll go with SpruOS. So we're going to go ahead and select that core. We've got it already at performance. We're going to go ahead and try Ridge Racer. So we're going to be using it on a much smaller screen. Let's go ahead and kick it in. Let's see if it's going to pull from a save state. There we go. And there we are. We're back in the game. So not bad. Actually, the image quality is not too bad for Revolution with SpruOS. You are going to see the buildings kind of build up because just based on the quality of graphics. But as far as the driving, using the D-pad again, not bad at all. It's working. Image is okay. Still, again, like you said, grainy. But as far as it working, what it's basically doing it more of like a tour. But it seems to be driving really nice. Not too bad. Kind of a fun game to play. There you go. So there's an example on SpruOS. And again, I can go into by pressing my menu key, it opens up the SpruOS menu. I'm going to go ahead and do a save state. I don't have a save state for 2, so I'm going to go ahead and press A. And actually, it's going to leave me a screenshot there. And when we go to the RetroArch menu, very small screen because it's on the brick, is they're using RetroArch version 1.22.2. And again, we're using the rearmed core. So we'll go ahead and get out of that. There we go. So now we'll move on to let's go with Newly Gladiator. So let's get out of there. We're going to go ahead with the PCSX rearmed. We're going to go with power mode. Let's just go with balanced. Let's see how that functions on the Newly Gladiator. Go ahead and get out of it. We're going to go with Ridge Racer this time around. So it was, again, just recently added, so I don't have any artwork yet. We have not played it on this particular firmware. Go ahead and press A to select and execute. RetroArch logged in. Volume sounds okay.
Ridge Racer.
We're just going to do a time attack. You can see my frames per second are 60. My screen is very small, so what we're going to do is we're going to go to the menu. And B, that's going to open up RetroArch, which actually Newly Gladiator is using version 1.20.0. Again, we're using the rearmed. We're going to go ahead and do B to back. We're going to go to settings. We're going to go to user interface. I believe video, I'm sorry. We're going to go to windowed mode. We're going to turn, there we go. Let's see, we want to get, there we go. Just trying to get it to where we get a bigger screen, maybe it's scaling, there we go. So basically it's based on the core provided. We're going to not go 4.3, we're going to go 16.9. Go back to my quick menu. I didn't increase my screen very well on here. We'll have to see how it does on maybe when we flip it over to cross mix. We're going to do a race.
Racers, start your engines and let's get it on. Three, two, one, go!
Audio sounds really good. As you can see,
3 laps to go.
my analog stick is working, and so is my D-pad, so that's kind of nice for Newly Gladiator. It's already set up. But as far as image quality, not too bad. We need to find out how we can increase the scaling on this and bring it up to a bigger image on the screen. But as far as it working really well, not bad at all. It's doing exactly what I mean, we're getting a really good game going. We're getting 30 frames per second. Whoa. Jumped out of that tunnel really quick. There we go. But we're not too bad. Could do a little bit better on my driving, but there you go. That's Newly Gladiator. We'll go ahead and just leave that as it is. And then what do we got? We've got the trim brick hammer. Let's go ahead and go with Next UI. So here I've got the PlayStation platform. And let's go ahead and, because we're going to use a smaller screen, we were just on there. I don't think I have Rage Racer, if that was the one I had, right? That was a Rage Racer. So we're going to go ahead and do Ridge Racer Type 4. We haven't hit that one yet. So we're going to go ahead and press select. We've got a resume sitting there. So let's go ahead and press X. Still getting me to my race. We're going to get to our first heat. Scroll through this. Image quality here is a little bit, it could be sharper, it's a little bit blurry. There we go. Again, we're using the D-pad strictly. Image is really nice. Not bad for the small screen. I want to say is that we need to try Rage Racer on this because I feel like that would work really well. I think the screen on that, I'll have to test that out. But as far as here, Ridge Racer R4, not bad except for my driving skills. But what's unfortunate is here is you're seeing a lot of blur over here. So when we get out of this, this is blurry, this is blurry. It would be nice if we could get a better, sharper image. So something I'll have to get worked on. Might have to go into, if we went into the settings, go over here to options. We're going to go over to the front end. All those seem to be what we want. Let's go to the emulator. Let's see if we go video. Let's take the dithering pattern and disable it. Let's take the threaded rendering and disable it. Now it seems like we even got a worse blur. See, but when you put it on pause, see how the 8 actually is a little bit more clear. That's what we're really looking for, is that clarity. So let's go down to options again, go to our emulator. Show interlace video. Let's see texture fix up. Let's disable it. That seemed to give it basically the same image we had. So There's a little bit of things that we'll have to make a change on, but as far as the image quality, wherever our car is, here we go, is actually not bad at all. Makes the game actually really fun as a quick game just to pick me up. So there we go. We'll go ahead and get out of that. Put that to the side. And lastly, we've got cross mix. So again, you see the selection of cores that are being offered. We're going to go ahead and get the rearmed. Press A to execute. I don't recall which Ridge Racer this might be. This is Ridge Racer Type 4 as well. Let's see if we have a load state. There we go. Let's get right to a game. There we go. As you can see, look at my frames per second. I'm pressing the gas and I am just getting a lot of stutter. This is not at all working well. It's lagging. What we just saw on the brick was much better quality even on the other devices with their firmware. This is, even though it's showing frames per second, you can see in the right hand corner next to it, it's below. It is so below. So I'm not really sure what's going on here. This is rather embarrassing, but we'll close that out. So that's the example of PlayStation, and then we're going to move on to N64. Okay, N64. We're going to talk about N64. I know I just wrote up something just recently and put it out there, talking about some different MOOP N64 and the different cores and some of the video plugins that are on there, what would be Glide or Rice. So some of the versions of the MOOP are standalone, unfortunately, so they don't give a lot of hotkeys, I guess you could say. But what I want to say is the image quality for the N64 Ridge Racer is really good. It's not bad. It's much better than the PlayStation, so we're moving ourselves up to the PSP, but I would say the N64. And if you're playing it on a game, just like a quick Ridge Racer game, just a quick 3-minute, 5-minute game, just while you're traveling or just have a few minutes, you know, using one of the standalones seems, and you're not concerned about retro achievements, and you're not worried about any save states, then I would use a standalone because it's got the best quality, it seems like. So, excuse me. What I'm going to do is I'm going to actually show you what is offered through the different 5 firmwares that I have listed here on the 5 devices. So again, we'll just hit with Spruce OS, and we'll start from the bottom and roll to the top. So with Spruce OS, you can see we've got 4 different cores that they have for the Nintendo 64 and 64. They've got the KM Ludicrous, which is actually an amped up version of the MOOP N64 Plus. It's got the video plugins of a few different options there. So that is actually my recommendation. I can tell you right up front what I've been using a lot. The Parallel N64, sometimes I get some glitches that are going around the framing and sometimes with the volume. You've got the MOOP N64 Plus Next, which I believe is also RetroArch. These are all 3 top are RetroArch. So the Ludicrous, actually, you can do some save states for. We are going to run it on the Ludicrous here. But down below, you've got the MOOP N64 Plus Standalone. So unfortunately, there's not a lot of hotkeys for it. There's a few functions, but it doesn't give you a lot of options. So that kind of puts some disadvantages in there for it. So what I wanted to do is we're going to go ahead with Ridge Racer N64. We're going to go on the Spruce OS. We're going to hit the Ludicrous. So go ahead and select that. My CPU mode is actually set at overclock. We're going to go ahead and leave it at that right now. So going ahead with Ridge Racer, let's see how that rolls. We're going to pray A to transfer, which is for our save states. And again, it's running off the RetroArch core. Our volume is... Let's go ahead and see if we've got a save state. We'll go ahead and take this save state and we'll do a load. There we go. Using the D-pad. Music could be a little bit better. It is a little bit harsh. But coming up on the image quality of the cars, you can see a little bit better of an image. Not too bad. Screen is actually nice and clean and clear. This particular game runs really well with the Nintendo 64 when you're running the right chord. Nice jump, hitting the wall, turning here, going down through the farm. There we go. So that just kind of gives you a preview of Sprue OS with Ridge Racer. So we'll go ahead and take another one over. We'll go from small to big. We'll go over here to Newly. So as you can see, Newly Gladiator offers a little bit more versions of their N64 core. We've got basically the two top ones that are RetroArch. We've got the Movement 64 Plus next, and then you got the parallel N64. Then down below, you've got the three standalones. You've got the Movement 64 Plus Glide 64 MK2, and then also just the Glide N64, and then the Rice. The Glides are actually graphic plugins. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and select the Glide 64 MK2. We're going to go ahead and do our power mode. We're going to do high performance. Go ahead and select out. I have not run this again on this device. Let's see where it takes us. So far, so good. See how the sound quality is on this little guy. Sounds not too bad. We're going to go ahead and press. Car looks good.
3, 2, 1, go!
Again, analog stick and D-pad are both already set up for N64. Sound okay there with the vocal. Image is not too bad. Driving with the D-pad, not too bad. We can also, let's go ahead and use the analog. We should be hitting a jump right here. There we go. Everything looks good. No stutter, no glitches. Yeah, this is working really nice. Going here, it's working really well. So, again, actually, if I press X, it's going to bring my car down here a little bit further instead of being in the driver's seat. If I want to go that way, if that helps out. I actually prefer it the other way, being right there in front. But there is no way of getting any hotkeys. So the only way to get out of it is menu and start. So that actually works really well under Newly. I am really impressed. So we're going to move over and we're going to tap into, let's see here, CrossMix. So CrossMix, they've got actually quite a few, very similar to what Newly has. They've got the RetroArch cores that are here, the librettos, the parallel, the Movement 64 Plus, and then they've got a Movement 64 Plus 16.9. And then again, they have the standalones. So what we're going to do is let's go ahead and do this one a little bit different. Let's go ahead and hit the Rice this time. This is their graphic plugin for that particular version. Go ahead and select it. Let's see where what it's going to happen. Some of these have been tested, some of them not on all versions. Everything seems to be okay. Go ahead and turn up the volume a little bit. Make sure we can get some good. This is going to be the first time on this one, I believe. So by pressing menu and Y, that was a pause. Goes right to the game.
3, 2, 1, go!
Steering already set up for the analog stick or the D-pad. Both of those are working with cross mix. Audio's right at the intro is not too bad. Image is okay with the cars. There we go. Knock him out of there. Seems to be working really well. We're getting a full screen. We'll get about the same location that we were at before after our jump. These guys are really after me today. Get around here. Not bad at all. It's working really well. Really well. But again, there's no hotkeys, so there's no changes. So again, these are perfect games that can be just played quickly. So there you go with cross-mix. So we'll bring the brick hammer in. We've got Next UI. So what they're using is they're actually using, so to get this to use the D-pad or analog stick, what we're going to do is in the settings is you're going to push R2 in the back and A button. It's going to open up a submenu. So what they're doing is they're using the N64 Plus version 2.6.0. You can see here the controller layout for the D-pad mode is going to be used as a joystick. But what we're going to do is for this game, we're going to stick with the D-pad because it seems to be working rather well for Ridge Racer. And the CPU mode, we've got options of performance, on demand. So we're going to keep it at performance. We're going to go ahead and save the settings. We're going to go ahead and press play. That would be X. Now this is the brick hammer. And this particular version on Next UI, if I press the menu key, I do get a small submenu here. So you've got continue, save, load, and exit. There is no other settings like the other emulator core options. So what we're going to do is we're going to go with load, and hopefully it should take us to the previous when I played last. There we go. I finished second. Did not do very well. We're going to retry. See how you get a little bit artifacts right here at the edge?
3, 2, 1, go!
To be honest, the sound is actually a lot better than what we saw previously. Image is really good. See again using the D-pad, I mean we are moving around these turns not a problem. And we're catching these guys. But as far as using this on Next UI, I highly recommend adding this to your collection. This is working really well. So we'll go ahead and press menu key. We'll go ahead and do a save. We'll go ahead and press the menu key, put it at a pause. And we'll put that out. And the last one we've got is MuOS. So MuOS, oh Lord, they've got a lot. So we've got the Ludicrous, which is basically similar to Spruce OS. We've got N64 Plus, N64 Plus Glide, and then you've got some external versions here. And you've also got them with the plugins for Rice, and then you've got also the N64 Next, and then the Parallel N64. So, excuse me, there is a lot of versions that are available. And see, if you were running MuOS and you've got Ridge Racer, you pretty much could select any of these and you're going to get excellent quality images. So, we've done Rice, we've done Glide, we've done Ludicrous, We can go with MOOP N64 Plus, or we can go with Parallel. I just feel like Parallel is not going to give us our performance. So what we can do is let's go ahead with the MOOP N64 Plus next. It's like a version that was modified from the Plus version in RetroArch. So we'll go ahead and select that. We're going to keep the performance on the governor. Go ahead and get out of this. Go ahead and press select, and we're going to execute the game. Let's see how this boots up. There's Ridge Racer. Make sure our volume's good. We're running on RetroArch. See the artifacts over here. This glitch. I can tell you right now, that does not sound good at all. That quality right at the boot, we know it's not going to work. Let's go ahead and get out of this. So let's go ahead and immediately get out of that. We're going to go down and get back to our N64. And actually, that is actually the recommended core that they want you to use because it's got a star next to it. And we ran Ridge Racer, and immediately it started to garble the voice and actually have a frame with artifacts on it. So what we're going to do is we're going to stick with the other one that we've actually used, the Ludicrous. We're going to stick with that because we're going to get it on a full screen. We ran it on Spruce OS. Let's run it here. Boots up okay. Got your retro achievements. That's what we're trying to listen for right there. Good quality. You can see how my memory is, my frames per second. We're going to go over and see if there's any save states. I don't believe so. So let's go ahead and get out of this. Resume. We'll get to a new start. Now remember on MuOS, your buttons are actually swapped A and B.
3, 2,
This sounds really good.
go!
Startup was perfect. Engine. Audio right at the beginning. There was a little bit of a jump. Ooh, we're getting a few skips here. And I just feel like all we're hearing is engines. Coming around here. But it seems to be working well with the Ludicrous. Steering seems to be good. See, but when you press X or any other button, it does not change your screen view. And how it did it in CrossMix was a little bit interesting. But as far as this going, doing rather well. Image is not too bad. But if you're going, but again, let's go ahead and get out of this. Let's go into a save state. Let's go ahead and get out of this whole kit and caboodle. Let's go ahead with a standalone with MuOS. A little delay there. Okay, so we're going to take one more and we're going to try MuOS with one more core. So we're going to scroll to find them. NDS. We're going to go with the MOOP N64 Plus Glide MK2, the full version. Let's see how that works. Now again, this is a standalone, so there's no hotkeys for this. No retro achievements as well. And for some reason, No image, but a voice. We're not getting anything there. So interesting with these cores that we're trying out with MuOS, which is some I have not tried yet. Let's go ahead and hit them again. We'll hit one that we want to see it work with another one. So we know Ludicrous works. Let's go with Glide Full. Got Ridge Racer coming. Hold tight, buckle up. See, that even crashed. So we'll go with one more opportunity and then we're going to move on. So we're just going to go with the Glide. Oh, you're killing me. So it seems to me that the best core that we got to be using would have to be the Ludicrous, without a doubt. So that one seems to be the best option. So there you are. That just kind of provides you Ridge Racer using N64 cores on 5 different devices. Again, thanks. And we're going to be wrapping it up with some PSP. So we are at PSP, and we're going to be using the PPSSPP core, which is pretty much the only core that should be used or is used in the firmware across these 5 devices and 5 firmwares. So some of them are different versions. Just so you know, we're going to kind of walk through some of those and see how some of those perform and just kind of go through them. So going to start from the bottom. We're going to hit cross mix. So for cross mix, actually, we're going to go ahead and select them first. And we're going to go ahead and, as you can see, if I go to advanced game options, my emulator is at PPSSPP. I'm going to go ahead and go high performance. And what I've only got on here, I've got the options of Ridge Racer and Ridge Racer 2. I believe I'm going to run Ridge Racer and Ridge Racer 2 on both of these, so not on all the devices, but we'll just kind of hit Ridge Racer on this one, and then we'll swap back and forth. But on the brick and the hammer, what we're going to do is we'll do one of each. So we'll kind of do one of each. We'll do a couple of cross mix because they have a variety of core options, versions, so versus everybody else. So as we proceed, let's go with Ridge Racer on Newly Gladiator. So this is the first time I believe I've ran it on here. I want to say I did locate it when I first got my devices, but I never figured on how great a game it seemed to be and how it was working. But we're going to go here. Let's go and make some settings. So we're going to go ahead to our menu. So in Newly Gladiator, we're using the B key. They're using the 1.18.1 version of PPSSPP. Okay. And we're going to go down to our game. B is actually our enter, so they're backwards. One thing we could have looked at is our settings. So going to our settings, back end is OpenGL. We're going to do rendering. We're going to change it actually to, to 2 times. We're going to go full screen. We're going to use we're not going to use the VSync on this particular version. We're going to go to 2 frame skips. Our alternative speed is actually going to be disabled. We're not going to make any changes here. We're going to keep everything as they are. The anisotropic filtering, we're actually going to change it to 16 times. That's what I recommend and prefer. And we're going to put a frame counter on it. See how 2 times goes. So continue. As you can see, my frames per second are at 60.
Ridge Racer. Are you ready? Proceed with above choices.
Get right to a race.
Ridge
It's going to make me select. I've got choices of 3 cars. We're going to go with the middle car, the Toy Pop, all the way across. It's kind of the middle of the car. It drifts about mildly.
Large property. Hey, friends, get ready to race.
Audio sounds really clear.
The course is in excellent condition. Is your car tuned perfectly? Get ready. The race is about to begin.
Everything, we're still frames per second, dropping it down to 30.
3, 2, 1, go!
Analog stick's working.
3 laps to go.
D-pad or analog stick is working. Images of the cars are not too bad. You got some clear images. We're not doing too well. Audio sounds really good. But as far as the driving image, if I press X, it does not change anything. The plane that flew by, not too bad. There we go. Little spin around. But it seems to be working really well. Really well. So we'll go ahead and do a save from there. So here we are with MuOS, and what we're going to do is we're actually going to run Ridge Racer 2. Again, it's using the PPSSPP. We're going to use on the governor, the best that they have is performance. So here's Ridge Racer 2. You saw Ridge Racer 1. Let's go ahead and select it and run it. A little background music from CrossMix. Everything, I believe, because I played this before, has already been set up. I've already actually have some save states. We're going to go ahead and do a load. I can't recall which version I believe they have. I want to say that MuOS has version 1.19. So, and on my game settings, again, we have to use B. I've got the OpenGL 2 times full screen. Everything else has been the same down below. The anisotropic filtering is actually set it off. We're going to change that to 16. My frame counter is on. Oops. Oh, gumdrops. Let's go back down. There we go. We'll go to a load state from a game I was playing previously. That doesn't sound good. Oh, quality is, oh my goodness, sound quality is horrible there. Let's go to our game settings. Let's go to 1 times. Let's go ahead and continue. So Ridge Racer 2 PSP. Audio is not running very well at all, unfortunately. That is a very big disappointment. So just so we confirm, Ridge Racer 2 does not work really well with MuOS. But to be fair, let's go with Ridge Racer 1. Whoops, we went back. Go ahead and boot this up. Let's see where this one fares. So we've already got a game. We're going to load it up. Audio quality is, and again, let's go to our settings. We're at 1 time. So and let's move the VSync off. My frames per second, but my audio And my image just doesn't seem as clear as what we just saw on Newly Gladiator. And my analog stick is not steering because my, MuOS, this is not good for Ridge Racer on PSP. We're going to have to get that one out of there. So that one's going to be out of the picture. All right, let's go to some of the brick and brick hammer. So the version that they're using actually for PPSSPP on NextUI is actually version 1.19.x, I want to say. So I've already got it in my actually here. And so we're going to go ahead and run with it. And I'll show you my settings there. A little bit delay on loading. There we go. That sounds about right. Good audio. Image is not too bad. There we go. Steering, good. That's working perfect. Except for my driving skills. Audio could be a little bit better. But it's not drowning an engine sounding. And it's not garbling. And it's not glitching on me. It's working really well. Boom. So that is actually working really well. And that's using the NextUI PPSSPP. And I'll show you actually that was being done 2 times resolution. So I was able to do with the OpenGL. And it was actually had the VSync set. And I've got frame skipping by 2, which is an auto skip. And I've kept it at that. So we'll go ahead and get out of that. But that actually is working really well. And again, the PPSSPP version 1.19. So I would say on NextUI works really well. Go ahead and exit. And we'll move over here to Sprue OS. So again, I've set it up to performance. We're going to take a chance at Ridge Racer 2. It jumped back into my game. This is Ridge Racer 2 for PPSSPP on Spruce OS. We're going to go ahead and press menu key. I'm going to go show you my game settings. OpenGL, 2 times PSP, full screen, no VSync, 2 frame skips, auto, everything on alternative speed is unlimited. Anastrophic filtering is 16, so basically the settings I like to have.
Now start your engine and get ready.
Working well. Image is not too bad.
3, 2, 1, go!
There we go.
Good. Let's keep this up.
Oh, a little bit of a hiccup. But again, we are running at 2 times resolution. So we're trying to run a little bit warmer. And it literally just crashed on us. Oh, because my battery is low. And we just lost it while it was working really well. I apologize for that. That's why it was beeping. It is literally dead. So lastly, we've got CrossMix. So as you can see in CrossMix, they've got the PPSSPP version 1.19, 1.17, and 1.15. So you've got the OpenGL, the Vulkan, and you've also have the performance, which actually boosts the megahertz for the RAM up to about 2,000, like a turbo boost. So what we're going to do is we've already run the 1.19 on some of the other versions. And what I wanted to do is, and we've stuck with the OpenGL. So what we're going to do is we're going to go with the PPSSPP 1.17.1. Let's try a different version of theirs and see how that goes. And this will be for the first Ridge Racer. A little bit delay on the boot. And it seems to be freezing up here. Interesting, interesting. So that's trying to figure itself out. Let's bring the brick hammer back. I do not have Ridge Racer 2, unfortunately. So let's see where we have another Ridge Racer 2. I'd like to show an example. Believe. There we go. Let's see what happened here. Finally loaded up. Let's go with continue. I don't know why there was a delay. Maybe switching cores or something. We're going to look at the settings for cross-mix. Settings. I'm using OpenGL 2 times. Full screen. Frame skip is at 2. Everything else should be the same. 16 for my anisotropic filtering. We're going to go ahead and continue. Frames per second right now is up there.
Ridge Racer.
Ridge
Racer.
We're going to go ahead and just stick with the name.
About choices.
Let's get right to a race.
Ridge Racer World. Ridge Racer World.
We'll go ahead with the toy pop.
Prophecy. Paid and get ready to race.
Audio, great.
Oh yeah, the core.
So again, this is running cross-mix. PPSSPP version 1.17.
Go!
Sound quality. Audio for the background music. Oh. Even though we passed them, there was a hiccup. I haven't seen a... Oh, there we go. We're getting some frame skips there. And some poor driving skills. But as far as the audio, I would not say that those frame skips are too severe, but seems like it's working really well. So, nice. There we go. So, to kind of wrap all this up and everything, let's bring everybody back to the party. We've got CrossMix, we've got Spruce OS, we've got Next UI, we've got Newly Gladiator 2, and we've got MooOS Jacondra. So what I would say is basically using advanced DraStic for your NDS games. CrossMix doesn't seem to be the one that has the best option at this present time. But if you're using Sprue OS or Next UI, they're using almost identical versions, just a few changes. They actually seem to be the best option there for the single screen and the smaller hammer and the brick on the brick. As far as using it on Newly Gladiator 2, if you're using the advanced DraStic, it works really well. And on MooOS, I would say it works really well again. So these 4 devices for NDS, if you get the right settings, you'll be able to play some games really well, either by single screen or 2 screens. So if that on the PSP, I would say basically on all of them. In Nintendo 64, again, if you're using a standalone emulator with some of the graphic like Glide or Rice, you might be hit and miss, but as far as the quality of the image works really well for the Nintendo 64, and seeing it on the brick and the brick hammer, it worked really well. And MooOS, it worked well. Gladiator, it worked well as well. So again, just kind of giving you my feedback. Thank you for watching Beyond the Emulator, and enjoy. Happy gaming.